addressing, we will have for the addresses for the host, for the router, and the others. For IPv4. So, in the following, we will have the discussion for IPv4, and later we will have IPv6. So, this time, now IPv6. IPv4, then we have 32-bit ID. So previously we already have a source address and destination address. It's 32-bit address. And in fact, we will have an interface, and so that we can have the connection. Well, connection, right? Interface, connection between router, host. Alright, and we will have this one called the interface. And so that each interface will have the IP address. Alright, so it doesn't mean router. You just can have one IP address. Actually, you can have multiple interfaces, and so that you have multiple IP addresses. Well, if we look at router, not one, we have multiple interface or multiple IPs, IP address. And host, normally we have one or two, because we can have wired or wireless. So one or two, alright. But it says typically, alright, typically. If you have the specific setting, maybe more than two. Alright, so here we have one or two interfaces for the host. Well, I think you understand we have for the IP address in this format, 30 decimal. Right? So we have 4 decimals with 3 dots. And this form, it is the normal IP address. And normally we will have the transformation from decimal to binary. Alright, I think you understand binary. We will use binary. So first of all, about, for example, the current number 223 will be the current binary. For this test, if you feel any difficulty, raise your hands. So no, right? And later we have some example. We'll ask you to have the transformation from decimal to binary. So you should be familiar with the transformation. So I assume everything's okay, and then the current 30 decimal IP addresses. Then we will have the binary form. So currently we will have this IP address, and right now we want to directly have something else. As for how interface actually connected, this one we already know in the other chapters. But at least we already have the interface, and right now we want to have the others. So currently it says, don't care about all these, but we want to then have the others. So this one, if you want to check this. So we already have subnets, the concept of subnets. Well, one question. What's a subnet? So how to have the way to find a subnet? It says, alright, so this is a definition. Those devices, those device interface, and so that it won't be necessary to pass through an intervening router. So that says don't go through this. If don't go through this, that says you can detach the router. Once you detach the router, then you can find So we will have the isolated, and isolated. So that you will have the number of isolated subnets. Well, so then we can find the number of subnets. Later we will let you know that way. If so, then we have a subnet. And subnet, we will have IP address, follow subnet part, and follow host part. So subnet part actually the initial binary, and later we will have this. So subnet first, then we will have a host part. So look at this. First of all, we got to know subnet. Previously, we got to know without going through the intervening router. Therefore, we need to detach this. So look at this, detach. Right? Detach it. All right, and also detach the other. So if we detach these, and so that we have the isolated nets, and the isolated nets called subnets. Right? Isolated network. And then it is called subnet. And so that's subnet here. And also the others. All right, so this is a way to have the subnet. And of course, for the IP, we will have the way to indicate the part for the subnet part. So in binary, how many digits here? 24. And later we can show you 24 to indicate the subnet part. And the remaining part then it will be the host part. All right, so this, I think you can check it, this one. So that's why we already have this recipe. It says if we can have some way to find it, then that is a way to find the subnets. So subnet, we have 24 previously, serving as the subnet part. All right. And here we want to let you know, detach it. So we have the number of subnets you can count, right? And if you count it, 3 here, and 2 here, and 1 here, so that we have 6 subnets if we have a given example here. So that says if you are asked to have the way to count, this is a way. Detach the routers, detach all the interfaces, and so we will have the remaining nets, and the remaining nets forming the subnets. And if we want to have the description for the subnet, we have these, and we assume it's 24 for the subnet parts of this one. Well, so up to now, about the IP address, we will have a subnet part and IP part, and also the subnets. That you have 1 minute to think about this. If any question, you can let me know. All right, so you are allowed to discuss with your neighbors. Okay. Given. Currently, the subnet part 24 is a given value. All right. Meanwhile, only for the students in the classroom, if you bring the standing page, then you can take a photo. If that's Wednesday, you didn't do it. And then you can send it to the line group. And today is the final day you can receive the bonus of the 5 points. And next time, no, but you will use the standing page. To serve us, you have the right to answer. To serve as a presenter. Well, any questions? So let me check. So for you, any questions? No. Okay, thank you. And any question for the other students? No, right? Okay.